Have you ever wondered why parts of your life feel heavy, as if they don't fully belong to you? Or why pursuing your own dreams sometimes feels like betraying someone else's expectations? The relationship with your mother is one of the most profound and influential bonds in your life. It can nurture you with love, but it can also entangle you with invisible expectations that shape your identity in ways you never consciously chose. Carl Jung believed that what is unacknowledged in one generation does not vanish. It resurfaces in the next. In this video, we'll explore the invisible trauma you may have inherited from your mother, a wound that looks like affection, but quietly limits your freedom to become yourself. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Mental Dose channel and join our Telegram community, where you'll get early access to new videos and insights on psychology, toxic relationships, and personal and spiritual growth. Now, let's get started. From the very beginning of life, the mother-child relationship sets the foundation for identity. John Bowlby's theory of attachment and Mary Ainsworth's strange situation studies demonstrated that a caregiver's responsiveness not only provides safety, but also shapes how a child sees the world. When a mother's love is consistent and balanced, the child develops secure attachment and confidence. But when that love carries unspoken conditions, when the child feels they are responsible for their mother's happiness, attachment becomes entangled. When love becomes tied to responsibility, the child absorbs not only affection but also anxiety. Research on parentification, particularly the work of Gregory Jerkovich, shows that children who feel responsible for a parent's well-being often struggle with guilt and a sense of over-responsibility in adulthood. Jung would say this happens because the mother unconsciously places her own shadow, the fear of abandonment or inadequacy, onto the child, who grows up believing their worth is measured by how well they keep her emotionally stable. Jung saw the mother as both a nurturing archetype and a carrier of unconscious material. Her unresolved fears, unfulfilled desires, and shadow elements do not disappear. They often pass invisibly into the child. This makes the maternal bond both a source of strength and a potential channel for trauma. And it is here, in this duality between nurturing and projection, that invisible wounds begin to form. Modern family systems theory, pioneered by Murray Bowen, shows that families function like emotional ecosystems. Each member adopts a role to maintain equilibrium: the caretaker, the achiever, the rebel, the dependent one. These roles become reinforced because they stabilize the system. If one member changes, by growing more independent, for example, the others unconsciously resist, pulling them back into their old place. A mother who unconsciously defines herself through her child's existence may subtly resist that child's autonomy. Phrases like, "You're still my baby," or "You'll always need me," seem affectionate, but signal that growth threatens the balance. Psychologists call this enmeshment, a blurring of boundaries where the child's identity becomes fused with the parent's. Ivan Bosormanyi-Nagy described these patterns as invisible loyalties, debts of meaning. Children feel obligated to pay, often sacrificing their own individuality to preserve family harmony. What looks like love can, in truth, be an unconscious strategy to keep you small, so the family roles remain intact. If left unexamined, identity fusion shows up later in life as subtle self-sabotage. Adults raised in enmeshed bonds may choose careers that please their parents rather than fulfill their own aspirations, or they may stay in relationships that echo dependency rather than equality. Studies on intergenerational patterns of enmeshment, such as those by Sharon Farber, reveal that many carry an unconscious fear of separation, interpreting independence as betrayal. Without awareness, the inherited wound silently dictates choices, leaving authenticity out of reach. Here lies the invisible trauma, identity fusion. It happens when a mother defines her sense of purpose through her child's life, declaring, "You are my world," or "Without you, I'd be nothing." While these words sound tender, repeated over time, they become a burden. The child internalizes the idea that their existence is not fully their own, but tied to sustaining another person's meaning. Jung would interpret this as a projection of the mother's shadow. Her fears of emptiness, her regrets, and her unfulfilled ambitions are handed to the child, disguised as love. Developmental psychologists like Salvador Minuchin, who studied enmeshed families, found that such children often struggle with autonomy, decision-making, and even forming adult identities separate from their parents. This trauma is invisible because it masquerades as care. But the cost is profound. Instead of discovering who you are, you grow up carrying the weight of who your mother needed you to be. The effects of identity fusion don't fade with age. They follow you into adulthood. Research on enmeshed families reveals higher rates of anxiety, guilt, and difficulties with boundaries. Pursuing independence can feel selfish, and saying no can feel cruel. You may unconsciously avoid choices that would disappoint your mother, even if they're right for you. Jung's concept of individuation, the process of becoming your true self, is stalled because your growth threatens the very foundation of your mother's identity. Modern psychology confirms this. Studies on parent-child enmeshment, such as those by Kearns, Bodkin and Leonard in 2008, show that children in fused dynamics often report identity confusion and lower life satisfaction. Instead of seeing your own future, you end up living in the shadow of someone else's unfinished story. Before we go on, if this video is helping you understand these hidden family dynamics more deeply, consider sharing it with someone who might recognize themselves in it. And if you'd like to support this kind of thoughtful content, you can click the thanks button below. Your support truly helps us keep creating videos like this. Now let's continue. Healing from this invisible trauma begins with awareness. Recognizing that "you are my life" is not only a declaration of love, but also a demand for meaning reframes the relationship. You can acknowledge your mother's struggles without carrying them as your own. Jung believed that consciousness dissolves the grip of the unconscious. Once you name the fusion, it begins to lose its power. Breaking free means creating emotional boundaries, distinguishing your journey from hers, and reclaiming your right to evolve. This doesn't require abandoning love, but transforming it, from entanglement to authentic connection. Individuation is the courage to say, "I love you, but I am not you. My life is my own." The invisible trauma inherited from your mother is not always born of neglect or cruelty. More often, it comes from love that is too consuming, devotion that hides dependency, and affection that erases individuality. The trauma of identity fusion binds you to an old role, but awareness offers freedom. Jung reminds us that what is unconscious controls us until it is made conscious. By bringing this hidden wound to light, you reclaim your autonomy and step into your authentic life. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt this subtle weight in your relationship with your mother? Share your experiences in the comments below. I read everyone. And if you found this video meaningful, don't forget to subscribe to Mental Dose for more insights on psychology, Carl Jung, toxic family dynamics, and personal growth.